This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host, halfway across the world, Tim Prime Oos Hendricks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, you're reading that. I don't know if you watched Starship Troopers. I always remember stupid lines from different movies, and that just happens to be one of them. I'm doing good. Kind of. We missed yesterday, but as our other phrase that pays, life gets in the way sometimes, and that's just what happened yesterday.
Yep. So got a lot going on. Over here, school's ending, so today is my son's last 5th grade year, going into middle school next year, as they call it here, 6th grade. We'll see what kind of emotions he has. Just a quick question for you. What year was the most emotional for you ending high school or ending school?
Oh, man. Oh, I hated school. So I would say every. I feared the first day of school every year.
First day of school is always rough, especially for me moving schools.
Yeah, I think the most emotional. Actually, I'll take it back. I know which one was the most emotional. My parents got separated back when I was going into 5th grade. So my mom moved about 250 miles away from where I am, and I went from knowing everybody in my school, and I went to a school where I graduated with 38 people. I went to a middle school in 5th grade, knowing absolutely nobody and having a class of about 250 people. I can say that was the most emotional.
Yeah, for me, of course, like you just said, every kid dreads the first day, just because you're thinking about what lies ahead. But for me, I would think with the friendships I built up, because I did move around a lot, knowing my 8th grade year was going to be the last time or the last day I would see a lot of those friends was very emotional, because I knew I was starting a new school the following year and stuff like that. So that one was very tough, because I was in that district from 4th grade through 8th grade. So, but yeah, so good luck to those future graduates, kids that graduated, and heck, who knows? Maybe down the road we're talking about you on one of these lists. So with that being said, today we got 4 days. We're going to do birthdays in June. And 2 days we got a category that me and Tim kind of thought about, TVs and movies that should never be remade or rebooted, depending on how you look at it. Because this was brought up by something I saw on Facebook, which I'm glad to find out that is a hoax. So, as of right now. So, with that being said, Tim, why don't we start off on the big screen? Well, we'll do the middle screen. We'll do TVs. We'll start with TVs first. TV shows that should never be remade. So, I know we're a big variety of categories between me and you. So this could be an 0 for 5 one.
It could easily be 0 and 5.
But I'm going to go with one, because I think there's one that I picked that, if you thought about it, I think we could probably match up, because I think we talked about this TV show a few times, So I'll go with 1.
All right. I don't think so, but I have faith. I'm a gambling man, just like you are. You like to play poker. I like to play poker.
Yep. Poker tonight. Yep.
I have no problems putting in. If it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg, I have no problems putting it in for 1.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm with you. I can see 0. This is the movie 1. I think we should get 1, but
Hopefully,
yeah. So, all right. Well, you kick it off with TV shows that should not be remade.
And my number 5 is so strange because it's like I just started watching it and it's crazy when you go back and you look at it and how many people have actually been in this series and especially like the first true episode of this series actually had Ed O'Neill in it. And I thought, well, and he plays an undercover agent, and I didn't realize that at the time. I knew he was in it, but I didn't realize they were going to slap you in the face with him right off the rip. And it, I don't know, you'd be young when this came out, but there was this big clothing fad that went along with it, and it seemed like everybody had to dress in pastels and shoes with no socks, and I'm like, I never understood it. And then you look at it, and it's just basic. I'm watching it, and I'm listening to it, and it's like hit music from the '80s, just laden all through this series. And truthfully, I don't think we get Grand Theft Auto Vice City if it weren't for this TV series. And they turned around and they did a movie. I love the movie. I think the movie's brilliant. I think the movie is absolutely brilliant with Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx. But I'm really, really liking it. I think it really put Genesis, the band Genesis, right out front and center, especially when they just put Genesis and Phil Collins actually being in the series for an episode is kind of strange. But if anybody should watch it, and they should not remake it. My number 5 is Miami Vice.
And I think that's one too that they have tried to bring a reboot, more modern, that has not panned out. But yeah, speaking of Married with Children guy, yeah. So he's actually, I just found this out too. He has a downloadable card on Madden.
Don't say, what year?
I can't remember now. But they were doing an interview because he's a big football fan, and because he actually tried out or got drafted by the Steelers, I think it was.
Yep, I've seen some of that interview.
Yeah, and they said that he has a card on Madden. So I don't know if it was.
Is it an Al Bundy Polk High card?
No, it's actually his card, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I will have to research it. But anyway, so my number 5, I know somebody's going to comment and say, well, this show was redone. And again, we are talking about reboots and stuff that shouldn't be. And I actually did watch, I think it was 6 or 7 episodes of this reboot, because they try to make it a real life story of the actors on there. As a real life, but it was still a TV show. So cool concept, but it just did not pan out. And they did do a new generation, early 2000s, mid 2000s, I think, but it should not be redone. And my number 5 is Beverly Hills 90210.
Yeah, that should never be redone.
Yeah.
They did, and they failed. And they brought some of the old people back, and they should have never.
Yeah, when they did the last reboot a few years ago, they had all the cast except for, of course, Luke Perry, and they brought them back as, the real life. They even used their real life names, but still made it a TV show. So it was a cool concept. Just, I don't know, maybe try to, but yeah.
So I had to go back on your Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching and they want to find an Ed O'Neill, it's in Madden 24. It's in the current current version of Madden 24.
Gotcha. All right, your number 4.
My number 4, another TV series where they made a movie out of it, and and it's strange. But the thing is, when I know as a kid, I think it was on. I'm trying to remember, was it on Sunday after football, or was it Saturday after college football? I always remember watching. I watched it because I loved the show. Wife loved it. The wife watched the show and loved it. And it's strange. And she watched it in English back in the time where she didn't understand much for English. But I love the show. They did the movie. I thought it was done really, really well. Bradley Cooper and Rampage Jackson and Liam Neeson in the movie. I'm still waiting for the sequel to that. I'm not happy they haven't made one.
I know it's one time, but I love that movie.
I honestly don't know how they could even do that right now. I love the series. It followed Knight Rider. I know that for a fact. It followed Knight Rider, and you watch Knight Rider. Wife loved Knight Rider too. She watched that. She told me about that. She loved Knight Rider and my number 4. If we don't have a number 4, we don't have Mr. T. Honestly, we don't have Mr. T.
Nope.
I don't think Mr. T shows up at WrestleMania. I don't think if it isn't for, I don't think he's in Rocky 3.
Yep.
My number 4 is the A-Team.
Yep, good one. I like that one. It slipped my mind, but yeah, that's the one. Definitely a good movie. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not upset that they haven't made a second A-Team movie, but I wish they would. You know, so my number 3,
number 4.
I'm sorry, I was looking at my number 3, but my number 4. I could see them. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who would I put in there. But anyways, it's Roommates. And again, this one we don't have, Suzanne Summers. We don't have.
I almost put this one on here.
Oh, God dang it! I can't think of the guy's name now.
John Ritter.
John Ritter. Yeah, exactly. God, but yeah, my number 4 is Three's Company.
Yeah, I saw that. I was thinking that, and I could have went 15 deep on this one.
We could have
went so deep on this one, and Three's Company was one of those that were on the list that I'm thinking, God, this list was bigger. I could easily have a lot on here.
Exactly,
it would have been fun.
So you're number 3.
My number 3. My number 3, it's the fact is they could remake it, but it's along the lines of certain movies that can't play well today and they shouldn't remake it. I loved it. I loved the series. Even when I was when it came out, it first come out in the 70s. And I literally thought, this is a great show. And you found out it was a nice little cold hard slap in the face, and then you see what happens when you get Sherman Hemsley, who comes in as George Jefferson. Then they bring bring in Sammy Davis Jr. And a lot of things, and you got a cold hard slap in the face with this show. But then you realize it was just funny. You get Carol O'Connor, because Carol O'Connor was huge at the time, playing Archie Bunker, but you don't get Rob Reiner. You don't get him in this world, and you don't get the Jeffersons.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of hinting it will show up later. Something will show up later on my list with the Jeffersons. But you don't get none of that. You don't get that cold hard reality, and I don't think we get Lenny Kravitz either. Technically, because his mother was in the Jeffersons. I remember, they changed the name to that show twice, if I'm not mistaken. At one point, they called it Archie Bunker's Place, but I always remember it as All in the Family.
Yep. Oh, good one. That's good. Even the Jeffersons. I mean, there's a lot of shows. So my number 3 is more current. I don't know. I guess the mid-90s. I'm watching on Friday nights. Love the show, and I just, I would like to see them do a semi-reboot of like The Children Now. Kind of like what they did with Full House, bro. Fuller House back. I'd go for that just to see, but to reboot the whole series and recast it, I don't think you should do it. And that's one. Family Matters.
Yeah, that's a good one. That one, I think all of them are still, well, except for the one that did porn. I think everybody, I think everybody else is still alive.
Well,
Reginald
yeah, except for
Because I know
Grandma.
Reginald Val Johnson's still alive.
Yeah.
But he's old. And then,
Mother Winslow's not alive.
who?
Mother Winslow.
Yeah, but
The grandma.
Grandma Winslow.
The grandma.
Okay, yeah.
Grandma Winslow.
I don't think the sister was alive, and I can't remember. I'm thinking of what's his name's mother.
Oh, you're thinking of
I can never remember her name.
Let's see. Oh God, I'll think of it. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go to your number 2.
My number 2 was a series.
Rachel.
Huh?
Rachel.
Okay. But my number 2 was a series that my dad absolutely loved. Another one I don't think could play today. Came from a movie about the Korean War. I think it would be. First of all, I think it would be tough to play now, but I think it would also be very tough to try to figure out how to do it, because especially with definitely things that are going on in the medical field, especially field hospitals and stuff like that. Again, this is another one. We don't get Alan Alda if we don't have this show. We don't get a lot of things. It's just crazy. You don't get the most popular series finale in TV history. If that's how there's no TV shows today that involves so much to get something like that, and it would be so hard to do it again, even just on pure fact of what the show did in the 70s going into the 80s. My number 2 is MASH.
The phrase that pays.
That's the one, huh?
My number 2 is MASH. I remember watching that nightly with my grandma mostly. But yeah, just the emotions and that went through it, and like you said, the finale, them all saying their goodbyes finally, and then they get in the chopper's going away, and you see goodbye MASH.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that emotion. They actually did. I was Googling some things. They actually did make another MASH TV series with the Doctor, and 2 other characters in there. Yeah, they called it MASH something, but yeah, no, you can't redo that one. As much as, I mean, granted, I think a lot of people would watch it just to kind of see, but yeah, I don't think it would last long.
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
I thought that would be your number 1. I thought I was going to snipe you at 2 there on that one. So your number 1 is?
My number 1. I absolutely. This is another one of those shows that was pretty much a staple on TV for us, especially in the 80s. If this is the case, if I have this feeling, if I know you're right, we might have to. I think we've seen a lot of movies that are TV shows that end up somewhere near a bar, but never spend most of the time in the bar. I don't think it plays well now, because it just seems like it basically goes towards our society as being where we go to drink, not to socialize, to be friends, to have conversations. We go to the bars to get drunk and do stupid things. And this show, which primarily takes place in a bar, does exact opposite of what bars are now. I love the show. This is one of those shows. If this show doesn't come about and Coach dies, we don't get Woody Harrelson. We don't get we don't get Ted Danson. We don't get Shelley Long. We don't get We don't get Kirstie Alley. We don't get George Wendt. We don't get John Ratzenberger. We don't get Kelsey Grammer. The names go on and on with this show, and there's it's so hard to get a group of people to do this that basically don't know each other and then turn around and become a family. It's so difficult. I never can see that this show will never be replayed, and it's probably in the top five shows to have such a memorable song, and you can actually go to the bar where this is supposed to take place from in Boston. My number one is Cheers.
Wow, yes. Cheers. I mean, what can you say? Everybody knows your name. Like you said, you go to the bars and just, socialize now. And, I mean, how many bars can you go to that actually, you get the friendship with the bartender, or, I mean, even walking in and your drink's already sitting on the table waiting for you, and, you talk about that. And, not Kirstie Alley. Who was the other waitress, the blonde?
Shelley Long.
Shelley Long, yeah. I mean, she walked into the bar with her husband. They were going on a trip, or fiance, to get married, and he had to leave to go meet with an ex, I think, and he never came back, and she ends up working there, getting a job there and stuff like that. I mean, who does that? I mean, but yeah, Cheers definitely. Honestly, with that one, I was thinking about it, and it's like, I'd like to see like Woody Harrelson, like kind of reboot, like do a reunion show, somewhat, maybe a 2-3 episode one where he buys the bar, reopens it, and then they bring back the cast one by one. I kind of like to see that. I don't think it would last long, but definitely bring that one in there. So we got 2 out of 5. Good start. I thought for sure we'd get MASH. I didn't think we'd get Cheers.
I didn't realize that until I was like, wait, we've done a category about Kirstie Alley, and then I'm like, oh man, I put Kirstie Alley at number one by purely by chance. But this was, to me, Cheers was always going to be number one. To me, it was always number one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Cheers and MASH. I had a hard time flip flopping. But that's good. All right, so let's move into birthdays. We have June 2nd.
We're gonna do movies last.
We're gonna do movies somewhere in there, but yeah,
somewhere in there.
Yeah, we can do movies last. So
okay,
all right. So June 2nd, we had 3 days ago. So
3 days ago.
Yeah. So happy birthday to everybody had a birthday in June 2nd. I'm looking at it. I do have one big curveball. So. But we still have a chance for 5 out of 5 because I doubled up on one.
I'm still thinking I'm thinking I might have a curveball here too, but
I'm gonna go.
I say 2 at least. I think 2. I think we're getting 2. I'll tell you right now. I after talking backstage, I doubled up on 1.
You know what? So, I'm gonna go 3, and possibly we
could hit 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 3 because I think we might have doubled up on the same one, I think.
Yeah.
So I will go first with my curveball. This guy appeared a lot late night. I think he also appeared in the host movie that he shows up on. I have not seen him in anything else, but I put him on there just because this date didn't really have many people on there. But I am going, and I stopped at the name first because it's the name of a movie, and I'm like, what? And then I read who it was. But my number 5 is Beetlejuice. He's the guy from the Howard Stern show.
The Harry Stern show.
Yeah.
by itself could get me in trouble. So I'm gonna. Holy hell! So you the Harry Stern show. Well, this is going to lead. This is going to lead greatly into my number 5.
Your number
5. My number 5. I'm going to kind of at this point. I feel like I have 2 curveballs now. I have a feeling, especially. And I saw Beetlejuice. I'll be honest. I saw. Beetlejuice, and I'm like, I could really put it on there. And I had this really weird feeling that you may not know who Beetlejuice was. and then you put Beetlejuice on your list. So I'm kind of now a little foolish. Speaking of a show that should never have been remade, we back in the day, this back in the black and white days, there was a lot of we watched a lot of stuff. Andy Griffith, Father Knows Best, a lot of the other stuff, and then the Disney Channel back in the '90s thought it would be great idea to reboot another TV show that I never thought should have been rebooted. But he plays my number 5 is the lead character, and I believe he's still alive. Old as we say, old as shit at this point. But everybody our age will know exactly who he is. He was in this little black and white TV show called Leave It to Beaver. And I remember the show a lot. I watched it a lot, and then they rebooted it, or they kind of made a 20, 30 years later where Beaver and Wally and Lumpy and Eddie Haskell all got older. They all had families, and it was kind of weird. But my number 5 is the Beaver himself, Jerry Mathers. See, you said Harry Stern and Beetlejuice, and then I had to come back with the Beaver, and I'm like, okay, this is just.
All right, my number 4. Well, we got a couple of different sayings here, and this one is one of them. You got to be the first. If you're not the first, you're last. I guess that's in the movie, but yeah, you got to be a first at something, and if you're the first, you should be on the list. So I had the first African American PGA golf pro, I guess, Charles Seinfeld.
That's a curveball too then.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even see
it. Was my big curveball. But
oh no. This one's your bigger curveball.
All right, number 4.
My number 4, I don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about NASCAR. You and I talk about NASCAR a lot.
That pops up once in a while, but
once in a while. Well, and the confusing thing is, I can never remember if this guy is the brother or the son. Don't quote me. This is the problem I always come up with is like, oh, he's the brother, because they raced at the same time and they raced on the same team, and I can this is so terrible that I can never remember if he's and I can sit there and look it up, and 3 hours from now I'll forget who if he's the brother or if he's the son. Okay, he's the son. He's the son of he's the son of the king, as they say in NASCAR. He was the 3rd generation of 4 generations of drivers. His grandfather drove too, Lee. And then Adam drove before he had a bad accident and passed away. But I like this guy. This guy, to me, I don't think he's ever won a race in the major circuit. And I think that's terrible, but he's probably one of the most likable guys in all of NASCAR history. My number 4 is the former driver of the 44, the 45, the 42 for Petty Racing, Kyle Petty.
Yeah, I saw him on there, and yeah, he was on there until I saw Beetlejuice. I was like, oh, let's throw him on there. But yeah, Petty, he's one of those guys. It seems like too. You look at sports, and a lot of people that like certain drivers are ones that never, or in any sport, the most likable ones are ones that never get that championship, never get that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some that likable. I like Kirby Puckett, and he got a couple rings, but like Dan Marino,
yeah,
he's always likable, just never got that ring. So
right.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. So my number 3, we're gonna go in the music world. We're going to go with a drummer from England, I believe, from the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watt.
Wow. Wasn't expecting it.
What's that?
I saw him on the list, and that's the really weird thing. So I'm kind of going to guess that my number 3 is kind of a curveball.
Okay.
Which in our website she had a big picture, so which is interesting. The only other reason why I know who this person is and this woman is because she went to the University of Florida, and I think she was at the University of Florida while I was in Gainesville. She's a Gator, so right there she's on my list just being the Gator. But she is the career record holder for points scored in soccer, international record. She has the most points scored in international play. My number 3 is Abby Wambach.
I saw her on there, and if I would have read it more and saw that she was a Gator, I probably would have thrown her out there, down there, and tried to snipe you because I figured she would have been on there. All right, my number 2 is my double up.
Really?
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, my number 2, we're going in the inside the square circle, as we say. And a matter of fact, I just actually opened up a pack of wrestling cards and got one of these guys, so I'm kind of pretty stoked myself because I grew up liking the guy. So my number 2 is one. Well, they've had so many people, but he was part of the Four Horsemen. One is the founder of the leader of the Bullet Club. We got Lex Luger and AJ Styles.
Okay. That's 30. And then I realized what you did, and then I'm like, okay, I know what you doubled up, and then I doubled up. Okay.
You're number 2.
My number 2. I don't know about you, but I used to watch on Comedy Central this improv show called What's My Line Anyway? Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles.
Who's my line, anyways?
I love that show. To me, I thought it was brilliant. And then they brought it into the United States. Dana what the heck is his name? Drew Carey.
Yep.
Brought it to the United States and put it on ABC, and has had some amazing guest stars on the show to go with it. Robin Williams being one, and to me, he's still one of my favorite shows ever. And the thing he does opposite my number 2 is amazing. And my number 2 has brought that up into has pushed that thing into a further career with Let's Make a Deal. Absolutely does a lot of things. Him on the Chappelle Show was hilarious because you don't expect him to say half the stuff that he does, because he always seems like he's the comedic version of Bryant Gumbel. Yeah. But absolutely talented. It sucks that we kind of got him like mid-career, mid-life. I think if we would have gotten him early, I think this guy would have been a bigger superstar than he is. My number 2 is Wayne Brady.
Yep. The phrase that pays. At number 1, I have the funny man Wayne Brady. That guy, everything he does, I watch. I don't care. I guess if it was a serious role, I wouldn't probably watch it. But any comedic thing he has, I think he was also the host of Don't Forget the Lyrics when it first came out. I think Let's Make a Deal, of course. Whose Line Is It Anyways? The impromptu stuff that guy can do. Like you said, we got him midlife. If we would have got him in his 20s on Saturday Night Live back in the day, I mean, what things they could have came up on that. But, yeah, number 1, Wayne Brady. So you're number 1.
All right. Go ahead.
All right.
The phrase that pays, it's not C2C unless you're sniping. My 1A and 1B were sniped at 2B and 2A. I have AJ Styles, the face that runs the place, and the perfect package, Lex Luger.
Yep. Yeah. Matter of fact, we brought up Between the Ropes on Sunday that it was AJ Styles' birthday. We forgot Lex Luger, but all right. So we got 3. So we're still in the range there of Hall of Fame numbers.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move to June 4th.
Oh.
This one was definitely a tough one for me. I do have a curveball on here.
I think that let's go to June 4th. No.
Yeah, June 4th was a tough one. So I'm gonna go 1.
2.
You're gonna go 2.
I can go 2. I guarantee 2 at this point. I can guarantee 2.
Ooh, you're guaranteeing 2.
That's right. I'm going to Joe Namath of this show. I'm going to call my shot. I'm not Babe Ruth because I'm not calling the shot because I'll miss more shots than I call.
2. I'm just trying to think of where. I'm just trying to think if I want to see that. I gotta go 1. I think there's 1. I only see 1. And I'm trying to think of the list. I'm like, who else could have been on there? But all right, well, kick it off with your 2.
All right. I kind of brought this up last week that I haven't said this story enough, but I haven't said this story lately. And I actually like his music. It makes it even better. Even now, you put it in front of me, I'll sing it. I'll sing it all day long, all night.
What, the Lion King?
No, I can sing that all night too. I may need a refresher course on the lyrics, but I'm pretty good. I think many people remember some of our older shows where I used to make the comment where I go on vacation and listen to older country music. Yep. And this is older. And it's funny thing is his name's not the name, but it's a great name, and it's like I think he's named after the guitar, which makes it even worse. But he has 2 great songs that I always remember, and I listen to them, and it's amazing. Wasted Days and Wasted Nights, and Before the Next Teardrop Falls. I love those songs. Are they top? They're top 100. I'm going to save myself the trouble of making that an embarrassment. My number 5 is Freddie Fender.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. I missed that name. So June 4th, we are doing. This is how hard it was to come up with names to rank in here. I have a son of a famous person.
Yeah, did that go viral yesterday? Because I think if I read the news right, it did. Yeah, I got it today. Go ahead, but I know who you're talking about.
What did I miss?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, okay. So, me and you grew up watching them on the hard courts.
Exactly what I was talking about.
I am missing something. I'm honestly just missing the breaking news to me here.
It was weird because it was a post that his father had posted on. I want to say, go ahead, finish. We'll finish this up, and
okay. Because so it's just a post. It's like no breaking news or anything.
It's not a breaking news. No.
Gotcha. But I got the son of Irving Magic Johnson, Irving Johnson III.
Yeah. Well, the thing, and okay, I'll explain it to you. It was on X because I'll call it X, everybody, because I don't want to be the non-cool kid. But he had wished his son a happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
And the fact is that I believe EJ, as Irvin calls him, is transgender.
Oh, okay.
And the post went viral for some stupid reason. It's like people don't have enough to keep their own. Okay. It's fine. It's a son. It's a father wishing their child a happy birthday. People are losing their minds over it. Get over it.
Exactly. I didn't see the post at all.
The thing is, I read news on Google News, and it was like the 8th article down on my app, and I was like, really? This made news? Why?
Yeah, exactly. All right, you're number 4.
Number 4. I don't think we've had a football player yet on this show today.
Nope.
No, we have not. I know the push about this guy possibly they're really pushing in Washington for this guy to go to the Hall of Fame. I believe he was drafted originally by San Diego as an offensive lineman to San Diego, the Chargers, yes. Okay. Not the Los Angeles Chargers, because that's only happened in the last 2 years. And then went to Washington and has been one of the key people besides Joe Jacoby to anchors that the Hogs offensive line. and Russ Grimm, another guy that I think was an amazing lineman for that team, won Super Bowls with that team. I think this left tackle should be in the Hall of Fame, and doesn't get enough credit because of Joe Jacoby and Russ Grimm. My number 4 is Jim Lachey.
Okay. My number 4, coming from a TV show. Again, one of those that one, maybe should never be remade or just keep running it. But again, how many hotel accidents are you going to have, or surgeries or stuff like that you're going to have? So from the TV show ER, I've seen him in other movies. Pretty good actor.
Librarian.
Noah Wiley.
He's amazing in The Librarian.
Oh, I'll have to watch that one. But Noah Wiley. So
my guarantee is Golden at this point.
Okay.
Because
it's
Golden.
Okay.
Golden. We might actually make this 3 at this point. This is how strange this is.
All right.
Because it's the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're sniping. My number 3 is the one you just had. Your number 4.
Noah?
Yeah, Noah Wiley. My wife watches ER, and she was like, "Oh, he's okay."
So that you're guaranteeing it. And I've only had 2 picks, and you're guaranteeing that your 2 is working.
Oh, my 2 is working.
Okay.
I guarantee my 2 is working at this point.
All right. So.
Unless you
my number 3.
Unless you rewrite your list, my
I'm not. My pet right here. I'm not rewriting. My number 3 is an English comedian.
You went that way.
And I put him on there, and I don't think he was in the movie I'm thinking of.
He wasn't, because I know who you're talking. I already know who you're. I know.
And he looks like him, right?
Huh?
He looks like him, right?
Yeah. If it's the one I'm thinking of, yeah, he looks like him, but he's not.
Yeah. And I put him in there just to kind of touch home with you a little bit. Russell Brand.
I thought you went Alan Carr. I didn't put Russell Brand on the list. But no,
I put him on there because he looked like the guy from Return Him to the Greek, I think it was. Or
Take Him to the that's him.
Yeah, that's Russell Brand. That is him. Okay.
That is Russell Brand, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah. He's the voice of the
I got a good story for you after this list is over about voices.
I still think my 3's good.
Okay. Oh, you went 3? I thought you guaranteed 2.
No, I guarantee 2. We're still my 2 is guaranteed.
Okay. All right, you're number 3.
My number 2.
You're number 2, yes.
My number 2 is an actress.
Okay.
No, dang it. The daughter of a famous actor who the actor father is he played the actor father. This is going to start getting weird when I start trying to explain it, and people are watching it going, how deep is he going to screw this up? The actor father was the coach in Varsity Blues. Also absolutely played an amazing character in the father. I'm still dealing with the father, not with the daughter. Played an absolutely amazing character. I don't know if I've ever had him on my list. That's the other weird thing. In the Deer Hunter, absolutely. You want to watch a psychologically screwed up movie? Watch the Deer Hunter. Him and Nero play. It's Michael Bain. Oh man, that's a scary movie. It's about a POW. It's about All right, we'll leave that there. But my number 2 is well known for. I've been to one of the places where she filmed in Venice for The Tourist, opposite Johnny Depp. She's also done two video game movies of Lara Croft. But for some reason, her claim to fame is both being married to Billy Bob Thornton, and her other claim to fame is the person who had wrecked the marriage of Brad Pitt and oh man, Jennifer Aniston. And her daughter is now in the news because she wants to take Brad Pitt's name off of her last name. Her daughter, their daughter. But my number 2 is Angelina Jolie.
My number 2. All right. Oh, we got comments here. Let's get to the comments here. So Randy Cox is on Dragon Viper. Yeah, he's got you. Actor, father, daughter, what?
I
Angelina's one of his childhood crushes because Angelina has better hair, so Dragon Viper wishes he could run his hands through her hair. So, but anyways, my number 2, the phrase that pays. I have Angelina Jolie on there. That's her father in Varsity Blues.
Voight. Yeah, John Voight.
Really? Okay. No, that's a good one. But so your 2 is guaranteed, I guess.
Yeah, it was guaranteed. I guarantee you, it's guaranteed even before the Noah Wiley.
Well, it had to have been because I only had 2 people. You guaranteed it. But anyways, go with your number 1.
My number 1. To me, I honestly think this. We're going to go into the squared circle. Go ahead. Now you know it's guaranteed. Oh, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. Oh boy.
Oh, who did I miss?
The reason there's a position back behind the curtain is called this.
Oh no, I missed him.
There is to me, I think there would be a lot of attitude error people that thinks that, and I don't disagree with them, that JR and King are the best commentary team in WWE. It's arguable. It's a conversation starter. Gorilla position is not known. The gorilla position because of this guy. We don't get the gorilla position. If it weren't for this guy, the great foil to go up against the long side of one Bobby the Brain Heenan. A good wrestler, a great wrestler in his own part. One of the first people to go into the WWF at the time, Hall of Fame.
And he should have been.
My number one is Gorilla Monsoon.
Wow, I missed that one.
Holy smokes! I guaranteed on a hope and a prayer at this point.
Well, the thing is I had 2. You like my guarantee's good, so I'm like, oh, he's got Irvin Johnson at 3 or 2. Gorilla Monsoon. Here's the funny thing with that. I actually just pulled a Gorilla Monsoon cartoon and tried to explain to my son who he was and why he was so important to wrestling and stuff like that. Ah, man, I missed that one.
Who did I miss?
I overlooked, and I looked over up and down, left and right, this date, June 4th, so many times I still missed it.
Who did I miss? Who did I miss at number 1 at this point?
Kind of a curveball because you actually said football, and I'm like, oh, he got this one early. I put him on there because of his name, Sir. Denver Bronco wide receiver. I don't know if this is his first name or if he got it knighted, Sir, but I don't know why he would. But Sir Ma Wilson.
Who?
I got to write. I think I just butchered his first name.
I have no clue who that is. I didn't even see him on the list.
Let's see. He played. He was born in '73. Sir Mawn Wilson played for the Broncos. He was born in Tampa, Florida. So that must be his illegally first name. I thought maybe he got indicted, Sir. That's why I threw him on there. But he was drafted in '97. Played for the. He was an off-season practice squad member, I guess. He played for the Broncos. Then he went to the Arena League, played for the Arizona Rattlers, and came back with the Patriots. And then pretty much he was an arena football guy, but in his bio it says Bronco, former Bronco receiver. But yeah, he played for the Patriots, and then he went Tampa Bay Storms, Buffalo Destroyers, Carolina Cobras, New York Dragons, and Austin Wranglers. He was a Super Bowl champ, though, with the Broncos.
With the Broncos. I figured you were going to say the Patriots.
No, 32.
He won the Super Bowl the year that they beat the Packers, or the year that they beat the Falcons.
Yeah, exactly. So that was close. Come on. All right. So yeah, that's my number one. But
Wow, I guarantee.
I miss Monsoon. That's not as big as the Tony Gwynn one, but that's still pretty big.
Like, holy smokes! I'm like I guarantee.
But anyways, you talked about voices with Angelina. We were listening to we were driving to a movie yesterday, and listening to comedy. Larry Cable Guy's on there doing his bit. My son looks at he turns, he goes, "Dad, this guy sounds so much like the guy Mater from the Cars." I go, "'Cause it is." He's like, "Really?"
As soon as you said that, I went, "Oh shoot, here we go."
Yep. So, Dragon Viper agrees with some of us. Jerry Lawler, king of the best ever. Come on. We know you like Pat McAfee, so
I don't like Pat. I don't like Pat McAfee.
Oh, come on. The dude brings so much entertainment into the. But no, Jerry Lawler and King definitely are great commentators. There's nobody else above them. Heenan and
Macho and Vince.
No.
Jesse. No, you're right. Jesse and Vince are so so good.
All right, so let's move on to the 14th. So we got what, 8 days? No, I'm sorry, I can't do my math. 9 days for you guys' birthday.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you know me, we should at least have one.
Only one, because I was thinking this is where I was going to go 3. You know what? You shot your call. I'm going to guarantee 2. I'm going to guarantee 2 here.
You know what? I may have baited you into this. You said 3.
Now, what are we gambling here?
This is like I can name that song in 5 notes. You should think of that show at this point. We should do a show like that. I can name that song in 5 notes.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, that is a good one. Maybe not songs because we get banned, but maybe we could do. That's movies. A good idea. We'll have to brainstorm that one.
We could do 5 movies and like 5 actors. I could do that movie in 6 actors.
There you go. Good one. We'll put that up after this show. I would say I do it now, but I know Dragon Viper's not smart enough to tweet and say, "Hey, I got a show idea." So, so we're going 2 or 3. You going 2 or 3?
Oh man,
I'm guaranteeing 2.
Okay, I'll bite on your 2. Dude, I don't no, don't.
All right. Anyways, I'm going. All right, that is a good show idea. So anyway, at number 5, since I start, I am going because we are in Olympic season.
Yeah, this summer. It's in Paris this year.
Yep, I know it's Summer Olympics, and this guy's a Winter Olympian, but hey, it's Olympic season.
You really? I went with an Olympian too, but I didn't go that way. I know exactly which way you went. The guy from Wisconsin.
I actually like watching this sport because they call it something and it looks really slow when they're doing it. And that's speed skating.
Exactly.
It looks slow. I don't know why they call it speed skating. It looks slow to me.
It's not even close.
Yeah, it's as slow as Dragon Viper's comebacks. So my number 5 is Eric Hendon's Olympic speed skater.
Eric Heiden. I saw Eric Heiden. I kind of have a. If she played now, she'd be a Summer Olympian.
Okay.
I just haven't figured out what country she would play for. My number 5, kind of a curveball. Remember, we have a show. We have this thing on the show. Somebody's got to be the first, right?
Yep.
I had a lot of people affected with the ailment that this person has been known to discover. Who happens to be a.
Well, because my comebacks are being typed. All right.
All right, but my number 5 is a German psychiatrist and a neuropathologist. Yeah, that's. I'll be honest. That is 2 words that even Isaiah would have trouble trying to say.
Yep.
But he is. Um, no, boy, I'm sometimes I feel like I'm inflicted with this disease. My number 5 is Elois Alzheimer.
There's days too. I think I'm with that too. I totally get that. Um, so we're on 14. Just I'm looking at too many things here. My number 4, when she came into the sporting world, she was supposed to be the next big thing. No, not Brock Lesnar's daughter. But she had a good career. I don't think some may say she panned out to exactly who she was, but I think some others will probably say, oh, she could have probably done a little bit more. But I'm sure tennis has a Hall of Fame, and I'm sure she's in it. And if she's not in it, she should be in it.
And she married a Hall of Famer herself.
Yep. And my number 4 is Steffi Graf.
Like I said, if tennis was a summer Olympic was a summer Olympics at the time she played, she would have been an Olympic. I think she might actually be an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, probably.
I think, but I can't remember. Now, my number 4. Remember how we talked about All in the Family? If we don't have All in the Family, we don't have the Jeffersons.
Yep.
We don't have the Jeffersons. We don't have this woman. My wife calls her the cleaner. I call her the house cleaner. But then again, if we don't have that, we'd also don't have a great amazing show called 227. To me, I love 227.
Oh, 227 was
227 with Jack Hay.
There's a show that I forgot all about, but
absolutely, I love that show, and it gets very little, as you can tell, it gets very little remembrance.
Nope. It's actually on Hulu now, I think.
Huh?
It's on Hulu now, I think.
227?
Yeah.
I don't get Hulu. My country sucks. But my number 4 is Marla Gibbs.
No, 227 was great. It was 3 roommates, wasn't there? Or no, it was an apartment complex.
It was a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
So Steffi Graf is the first in 1988. Graf became the first tennis player to achieve the Golden Slam by winning all 4 major singles tournaments and winning an Olympic gold medal in the same calendar year.
There you go. All right. So my number 3, we're going into the music world. I'm not a fan of most of his songs. He definitely has probably the second best iconic wardrobe that I could ever think of, next to Elton John and maybe even Seth Rollins nowadays. I know if Dragon Viper's watching, he probably is blasting his music right now because that's who Dragon Viper is. My number 3 is Boy George.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. When you said you can guarantee 2, I'm like, if you know me, you were gonna guarantee 2 at this point. My number 3.
That's not one of the 2 I was guaranteeing, though.
Oh, it was really? Because that would have been the one I would.
Go ahead. You're number 3.
My number 3. It's the phrase that pays. My number 3 is your number 4, Steffi Graf. I saw Steffi's name and I thought that was a guarantee. She had to be on the
list. If okay. All right, I think we went under this one, I guess, because my number 2 is one of the 2 I was guaranteed, and she's by far one of the best coaches in all of sports, I would say. And without looking at her list now, I mean, she's probably coached some of the best women's basketball players of all time. I don't believe she coached the Olympic team at all. She did? Okay. I wasn't sure, but I thought she did. But my number 2 all-time winningest basketball coach for female, I don't know. She's not anymore. That's right.
Gino took over.
That's right. Gino did. You're right. But heck of a speaker. My number 2 is Pat Summitt.
Well, we're going to go with my number 2. I've brought this person up many times because my wife has, and I have finally seen the album that she had gotten signed.
Okay.
It's The Phrase That Pays. It's not C2 and it's not C2C unless you're sniping. I've seen the Boy George album where he signed it. He signed it for her on one day. The next day she actually had tea with the man in his home. So
I forgot you told me this story. Yeah.
But it was hilarious when I said, "Hey, do you know whose birthday is June 14th?" And the first word she said out of her mouth was Boy George. Yeah, I was pretty much sure that he's gonna be number 2.
All right, Boy George. Well, my number 1 in the news quite a bit these days, and we don't get political on here, but again, if we put one president on our list, definitely have to put another one. And I was trying so hard, and not that I don't like the guy, because I mean he's been in WrestleMania. I think he's good publicity if you are in the round of something he does or is a part of. I think it's good publicity, good or bad. I tried so hard to find somebody. I would put Pat Summitt up there, but I figured, I better not. But my number 1 is the 45th president, and in some cases, some think will be the next president again, Mr. Donald Trump. So you're number 1.
You guaranteed it off of you guaranteed it off of Donald Trump. Okay.
I guaranteed it off of Trump and Summitt.
Well, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. It's The Phrase That Pays. My number 1, me being an SEC guy, hated to see this coach every flipping year, but respect the hell out of her. And it's funny, she passes away because of my number 5 guy. And it's strange that she dies because of Alzheimer's and everything else like that. My number 1 is your number 2.
Wow, you avoided putting Trump on there. I thought for sure number 1 and number 2 I thought for sure some of the Trump we would have. And I tried so hard to rearrange it. I'm just like,
I
big,
rearranged that so easy to me. I'm like, oh look, it's Alzheimer's and Marley Gibbs. Okay, done.
Yeah. All right, so
he's my number 6. That's how close he was. He's my number 6.
No. All right, so let's go to the 24th. Of course, the end of the month here.
Oh, yeah.
Towards the end of the month. This was another date that I got a big curveball here on this one. And a curveball and a first together. So
really?
But yeah, outside that, I doubled up on one. I'm just gonna go 1. I can't guarantee anything more than a 1.
I say
counting.
I am counting. I have a double up.
Okay. We're 1 for 1 on double ups. Could it be the same double up?
3. I say I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to be very careful how I state this. I think we get 3 spots.
3 spots.
Including the double up.
Okay. All right.
I'm not guaranteeing it. But I think
I know. We're not guaranteeing. There's one name in here that, unless you overlook a Gorilla Monsoon and Tony Gwynn like I did, I got the one that I think we have. But anyway, so I kick it off. No.
I kick it off.
You kick it off. We must have messed up. Anyways, whatever.
No, because I didn't take Donald Trump. No, this is right because I go first on the odds. You go first on the evens.
Okay. All right.
And we didn't do the movies, so the even one is you first on the movies.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
All right. So we've done a lot of boxing, and to me, I think he owns one of the records for the longest heavyweight championship fight in world history. I think he gets very little credit, especially with the new day and age of boxers and heavyweight boxers. Held the world's heavyweight title from 1919 to 1926. If anybody wants to know how long that is, like Randy, that's 7 years. He first won that the year my grandfather was born, and my grandfather would have been 105 this year. So that tells you how long ago that was. My number 5 is Jack Dempsey.
I saw the name on there. I did. All right, my number 5 is my curveball and a first.
Oh boy,
together.
First and okay.
Yep.
I don't have firsts. Have firsts.
I'll tell you right now what this person's all for. Me and you probably have not done since high school.
I haven't done a lot of things since high school.
Cox, if he's still watching, probably hasn't done it his whole life. So
I could say something and go, no, I had that Saturday.
So my number 5 is known for, and this is a first for C2C Rankem, as the Central Park jogger.
Oh, I haven't done that. Jogger?
Yes. So Trisha Miles, Meili, is known as the Central Park jogger.
When was the last time I jogged? I had to think about that. Well, I jogged around a football field when I was 26. I'm 48 now. 22 years ago. Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's been a while.
The last time I actually considered jogging.
It was. I think it was before practice.
Okay. So known as the Central Park jogger. All right. You're number 5.
So I'm gonna, ladies and gentlemen, and Randy Cox. I'm gonna pull a Brandon Herrera homer card.
Okay.
I don't pull out the punter card too often. And I definitely don't pull out Minnesota Viking punters cards. I pull them out even less. I don't pull Pat. I'm going to tell you something. This is, you know how much I pull punter cards out. I didn't even put Pat McAfee on one of our lists.
Yep, on his birthday.
He's a Colt. So this must mean I have this guy at high standards. My number 4, and I had this on my list going, the greatest punter in Minnesota Vikings history, because they did it a lot. During this time, my number 4 is Mitch Berger.
Yep. My number 4, the phrase that pays. The snicker kicker, because he always kicked with the snicker in his shoe.
Yep.
And then had a bite of it after each punt. So,
boy, he must have gone through a lot of Snickers that year.
Yeah. Mitch Berger. Yep. A homer card. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
All right, you're number 3.
My number 3, I'm going to kind of I'm going to pull a Wisconsin homer card at this point, and this is my double up. Here it comes, folks.
Okay.
My 1A is the lead actor in a movie.
Okay.
And my 1B is a co-star in that same movie.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, they kind of rebooted it with a character. They kind of, I don't know if they kind of rebooted it, but they tried to make him a wrestler in WCW during the Nitro days.
Okay.
And I don't know. I know they rebooted it with Joel Kinsman, or whatever they want to call. He wants to be called this week. And rebooted this character, somebody that should probably never been rebooted to begin with. My number 3A is Peter Weller from Stevens Point on Wisconsin. And his co-star is Nancy Allen is my 1B. And the movie is RoboCop. Now, Randy, for Randy, this is a movie about a cop who was shot to shit by a lot of people by Red Foreman from the '70s show, and then they made him into a robot.
All right. So my number 3 here, because I made some arrows because I reworked this a little bit ago.
You rearranged it so I wouldn't.
Well, I put my jogger. I had it written in 3, and I'm like, nah, that's too high. So I put it at 5 and moved my 5th one up. So I got a double up here. We're going to the music world.
No,
I got a drummer and a guitarist on this list. The guitarist I have, you got a band named after you better be on the list. And he's also known for another band, Yardbird. I also had the drummer of Fleetwood Mac. So I have Mick Fleetwood and Jeff Beck. Uh-oh. Tim's frozen or just staring
No,
at
Tim's not frozen.
You're number 2.
My number 2 is half the phrase that pays. It's not C2C unless you're half-ass sniping me. My number 2 is half your number 3. My number 3 is Mick Fleetwood.
Okay.
No, it was the double up. I thought that we had the same double up, and we went
totally opposite. So my number 2, Formula One race car driver. So we got 2 racing categories in this one. Juan Manuel Frago. Yeah. All right, you're number 1.
I have no clue who your number 2 is. Zero clue. Zero.
Okay, so I guess I got curveball then.
That was a huge curveball because I wasn't expecting that.
Fleetwood What?
I didn't have a clue he was born on that day. Betsy Randall, I knew.
I miss Antoine Winfield. He was born on the day. Okay. Mona Davis. Oh, okay. All right.
I didn't know about the.
He knows what Robocop is. Okay. And not the tag team partner of Sting. All right.
Oh man, that was that was a terrible gimmick night.
That was a terrible one.
That's like Kiss Warrior too.
Yeah.
My number 1. I'm going to go out and say it. Probably the best soccer player in international history as of right now. But he's playing for, I want to say FC Miami. He's also now part owner of FC Miami. A Spaniard, if I'm not mistaken. With a name like that, you would think he was Italian, but he's not. I've looked it up. I know that because my wife says we would never accept him because he's Spanish. I'm like, okay. And I'm always wondering when I'm going to get the plane ticket to come back to the United States, and that could be one. My number 1 is Lionel Messi.
And he's born from Argentina.
Oh, even worse. Okay, cool.
Current teams, International Miami.
Well, Inter Miami. That's what it is. Not FC Miami. Inter Miami.
And Argentina national football team. And if we all know soccer, we know that's what football means over there. So with that being said, you are on a list when a kid that my son who plays soccer knows who Lionel Messi is. So yes, my number 1 is the phrase that pays, Lionel Messi. So, all right, so let's get into movies here. The top 5 movies, in our opinion, that should never be remade. Dragon Viper, get your list ready for entertainment hour.
Get your list and your popcorn ready because this is going to be screwed up.
Yep. I'm going to guarantee 2.
Wow.
One of them we've talked about already. So, or not today, but we have talked. So I'm going to guarantee 2.
This You're
I'll give you hints on one of them.
one
of them would not be made today if it was made.
Oh, then yeah, I go too. I'm looking dead in the middle of my list, going, "Oh,
right.
this is going to be terrible."
I start. No,
Yep.
Yeah. And this is where you get to snipe me. My number 5 is my wife's favorite / not her favorite movie ever, but yet she always tells me how she always went to her grandma's house to watch it because her grandma would call her over for snacks and they would watch this movie. To me, got big ties to Minnesota. Matter of fact, I think they just found the stolen slippers and are now trying to resell them. I don't ask me. I don't.
I think they already resold them.
Yeah, they might have. But yes, my number 5 is The Wizard of Oz. And yes, I know somebody's gonna say, well, they redid it, they called it The Wiz. You're right. How well did The Wiz do? Exactly.
Even Michael, let's just say The Wiz did so well, Michael Jackson couldn't help it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, granted, yes, when it came out, did I watch it? Of course I did. Have I watched it since? Nope.
I used to watch it religiously up until I was like 16, and then I liked girls.
Yeah, exactly. So Dragon Viper still watches it. Then you're saying? All right, you're number 5.
Those words aren't coming out of my mouth at all. But I'm going to help. I'm going to help Dragon Viper here with girls, because this movie will make sure that a girl will cry on your shoulder. To me, I think literally the best, and I know they made a sequel to this movie. I get it. I completely understand they made a sequel to this movie. That's not what we're talking about. But where we're talking about remaking it, to me, I think one of Macaulay Culkin's best roles. But he doesn't go to the sequel. Has one of the biggest,
in the first one.
because he dies in the first one. Sorry, Randy. We should have said spoilers. That's my fault. And it comes and it has one of the it's oh my god. Any girl that was born in our age, that's in our age, you say this one line and they will break up. And there are some guys who will get a little choked up because it's a messed up line. And when it's said, it's even messed up, is when she says, where his glasses, he can't see without his glasses.
Nope.
And he's in his coffin.
Nope.
Sorry, spoilers. He's in his coffin. I'm not going to tell you how he dies, because that's a screwed up way. Something so simple and so avoidable. It's so scary.
Yep.
Chevy Chase plays an amazing Chevy Chase. Oh, forget it. I'm done. This sounds like this. Actually, whenever you guys do Kicking It Again, this is the movie that you guys see. Supposedly, he's watched all these movies, all these good movies. I want, if Brandon doesn't remember, Dragon Viper, you have a job. I want this movie to be reviewed by Isaiah. My number 5 is My Girl.
My girl. Talking about, yes, exactly. No, that's a good one. That definitely is a movie. Yeah, and it's not Chevy Chase, it's Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd. Yeah, I know. As soon as I said that one, that's stupid. That was just a thing.
My number 4. Yes, they made a part 2. Yes, they've redone it as a ABC TV movie. Yes, the ABC movie sucked. Even my 3-year-old son at the time, I think he was 3, if not, he was 4. He even watched it and said, "Mom, Dad, this is not movie." So my number 4, again, classic movie, one of my favorite drama musical. I don't even know if you call it musical, but it's drama. My number 4 is Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, the second one sucked.
Yeah,
Havana Nights. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze was in it for like 5 seconds. And the thing is, I want to clarify: if they remake it if they keep the same cast and make a sequel or something, okay. But they totally just go and butcher it. That's what we're kind of talking about. So
yeah.
So you're number 4.
Yeah, I understand sequels, but
yeah.
To me, I think one of the most influential movies. I brought this up. I can't remember because I brought this up in a conversation with my family here, and that Edward Norton should have won the Oscar that year instead of Roberto Benigni. Matter of fact, we had this discussion on Saturday about he should have never won for It's a Beautiful Life. Absolutely terrible. This movie should have won the Oscar. One of the biggest highway robberies, but probably one of the most influential movies that came out in 1998. It cannot be remade now. It's another one of those movies that cannot be remade now. Edward Norton played such an amazing role. Opposite of him with, God, now I can't remember his name. Edward Furlong playing his brother. It's one of those tour de force movies that can't be played because of the context and the topic. To me, it blows my mind every time I see it. I've watched it at least once a year for the last 17 years, 18 years. It tells you everything you need to know about this movie. My number 4 definitely should never be remade. American History X.
No, that's not the one I was thinking of.
Which one?
You're right. That one should not be remade. You are right.
Which one did you think I was talking about?
Oh, we'll get to it. I still have mine. So my number 3, yes, was remade recently. I think came out on Amazon this past year or earlier or late last year. They have been talking about remaking this with a certain lady wrestler, and it never panned out. This is also one of my favorite Patrick Swayze movies. I can recite a few of these lines from this movie, and I think anybody that liked Patrick Swayze is probably one of their best movies. You talk about bars, and this is one of them. Roadhouse.
Terry Funk.
Yeah, Terry Funk, yep.
Terry Funk in that movie. His name's Dalton. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yep. Terry Funk in that one. Patrick Swayze. I always forget the other gentleman's name in there.
Sam Elliott's in there.
Yeah, Sam Elliott. That's the one I always mess them up. But yeah, that movie should not be. And
nobody should touch that. Nobody should touch that.
Is the remake's not bad. Maybe something different. I would have a different total feel of it.
Yeah, I have it. I have it downloaded. I've still yet to watch it.
McGregor plays awesome in that. You just don't call it Roadhouse.
Don't call it Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Heck, you could call it with anything else, but you can call it other than Roadhouse.
Call it Dragon Viper's house. I don't care.
Exactly. You could call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can call it Viper Day. I don't care. You call it whatever you want.
So you're number 3.
My number 3. I think we've come out making this comment that Mel Brooks movies should never be made. It will never be made now. I'm hoping you went this direction instead of Young Frankenstein, because that movie shouldn't be remade either, because that's a masterpiece on its own. But the wording, the wording in that movie, especially the old man, when what's his name comes on, Cleavon comes into the city.
Yep.
He's the first, and he was appointed sheriff, and it's like he's
first.
And it's the most. Be honest, you go. I follow American History X with probably what would be considered the most racist movie,
and funniest,
and it's hilarious, and the way it is, and more black people find that movie funnier than anything that Tyler Perry's ever put out.
Yep.
But my number 3 is the masterpiece. The first thing that everybody thinks of when they talk about Mel Brooks, and it's not Spaceballs, it's Blazing Saddles.
Nope. My number 2. I text this right away to you.
It should be your number 3.
No.
No, you're right. You're right.
So my number 2, I text you right away when I saw this post. and almost threw up in my mouth when I saw the title of it and who. I mean, not that who was playing it, just the fact that it was getting remade. And doing some research, I'm glad this movie is not getting remade by today's standards. And since the lead actor has passed, this movie should not be remade at all. And if they bring back, the son, I can see them kind of doing a remake of it.
I've seen the podcast with Matt Lawrence, and he says he's not done. He's not going to do it. He's not.
Good.
He's not.
Good. And I know when Williams was alive, they wanted to do a remake, and I think the youngest daughter said she wasn't going to do it.
Well, she said she was willing to. It was the fact
she was willing to.
She was willing to, as long as Robin was going to do it, but he never got the script that he liked.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I've seen the thing is I've seen some interviews with the writer of the movie. He said, and at the year that passed away, I think we had this conversation. We brought this up last week. Yeah. And the fact is that he couldn't, because of his illness, because of his Lewy body syndrome, he couldn't do it because of all the stress work. He says, I can't work this much. I can't work it. And he says, I can't do the fat suit. I can't do the fat suit no more. Yeah. And then he died.
So of course, if you guys are watching, number 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, there was a post on there that Will Smith was going to redo it. To me, that would have been a
big slap in the face.
Big hit on himself. I mean, not saying that he couldn't have pulled it off because he could have, but he's done, and
it was a big. To me, it was and again, nothing against Will Smith, because I think Will Smith is a funny guy. I just think he needs to, at this point, I think he needed to stay in his lane, because I think he already did too much replacing Robin in Aladdin, and I thought that was, to me, that soured me a little bit on Will, and he didn't want. And honestly, he says, I would only do this if it wouldn't tarnish Robin's. Yeah, no, I can't see that. I can't see that.
You're number 1.
My number 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. I start. Yeah.
My number 2. I know they've done sequels. I know, again, the category is movies we don't want remade. And the rumor was 4 years ago that Justin Bieber was supposed to take over a role. That they were talking about a role. If the rumors are true, there's going to be a 4th one. If the rumors are true. I hope there is, because Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox have tweeted out and have posted a picture together that there's something big coming. I hope it's a sequel and not a remake. I really hope that it's one of the kids he's doing, that one of his and I can't ever remember not Leah Thompson's kids, Elizabeth Shue's characters' kids' names are. I hope that like much like you said, I kind of hope if they were going to do Mrs. Doubtfire, that Matthew Lawrence would pick up the whole Mrs. Doubtfire thing, and I think it would be nice to see. But this is one that should never be remade. I much like you with Mrs. Doubtfire, when you saw Will Smith, when I heard Justin Bieber being linked to Marty McFly, I threw up in my mouth a little and thought seriously that Hollywood has lost its flipping mind. My number 2 is Back to the Future.
Yeah, Bieber just doesn't
exactly.
If he did have all the tats that he did, I could kind of see it. I mean, I'm not a big Bieber guy, so that might influence. But
we're taking a movie away from Randy. I understand.
Yeah, he could have. You put him in the Biff character, possibly.
He's perfect for Biff.
What?
He's perfect for Biff if that were the case.
Yeah, but you don't put him in Marty's.
You make him Biff Tannen's kid, and he's perfect for it.
Grandson or something. Yeah. So my number 1, the phrase that pays. This is the movie that I definitely guaranteed. But yeah, my number. Did we double up on Mrs. Doubtfire? Or did you not have that one in there? Okay. All right, my number 1 is Blazing Saddles. So
that's the one you guaranteed on. All right. I think you might. You're right. I'm not done with my Edward Nortons either.
Oh,
I think this is the one you were figuring I was talking about.
okay, go ahead. Yeah, it was Blazing Saddles. So
Oh, it was Blazing Saddles. No, Edward Norton wasn't in Blazing Saddles.
yeah,
Um,
no. Well, when you said that there was a movie that should be remade, that's the one I thought you were at.
Oh, okay.
All right, you're number one.
My number one. I have this movie. Especially in this day and age where mental illness gets the whole thing. I think this is one that it's crazy. Good thing they killed Meatloaf's character off in the movie. We don't have to worry about him coming back. Because Edward Norton and Meatloaf had a really weird scene about Robert Paulson and and I'm quoting the movie, his bitch tits. But the mental health issues, the craziness between Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, the mental illness, it would be so hard to work now. And it's a great David Lynch movie, especially with mental illness getting. I'm repeating mental illness like it's going out of style. But this movie is just absolutely crazy. It's crazy from the word go. Between that and cults, it's crazy. You can't play that game today. Another one of those movies that just can't be played, and it's not a bright idea. My number one is Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we did okay for the categories that we had. I thought it was pretty good. So my list here, I just was Googling earlier. Actually, when we started talking about this.
That's what Dragon Viper does. He Googles.
Yeah.
He Googles a lot.
So I found a list for the top 10 TV shows.
Oh, for love of God.
That should never be rebooted.
Oh, here we go. Well, let's see how many we've got.
This is coming from WatchMojo.com.
I love WatchMojo.com. Here comes Friends. Right off the top, Friends is going to be on there somewhere.
Number 10 from 1971. 1979.
MASH.
All in the Family.
Oh, I had that one. Ooh. I didn't even look at anything like that. I just went off the top of my head on those.
From number 9 from 2006 to 2011. Friday Night Lights.
I never saw it.
From 2007 at number 8, 2007 to 2015. Mad Men.
Yeah, that can't be played again. That I don't know how it lasted as long as it did with the stuff that they put on there.
2006 to 2013.
7 years.
This is number 7. 30 Rock.
Really?
They say it should not be remade.
Should not be, but I could see it being remade.
2010 to 2017, the number 6 movie.
Ooh.
Sherlock. Or TV show, I'm sorry, Sherlock.
That no. That one I completely disagree with because I watched Sherlock. I love Sherlock. I disagree. I think remake. No, I think should they continue? I think they should continue.
Yeah. 1997 to 2003.
1997.
97 to 2003. The number 5 TV show that should not be remade.
Friends.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. So I
number 4. 1972.
Oh, geez.
To 1983.
That's MASH.
Number 4.
That has to be MASH.
I think that should be up there higher. I mean,
yeah.
At number 3, from 2004 to 2010,
6 years.
Lost. They shouldn't have done that.
There's rumors that that's actually going to get. Sounds like it might get remade.
I hope not. Number 2, 94 to 2004.
ER.
Friends.
Oh, yeah, I knew Friends was on the list. Why did I say that?
At number 1, The Phrase That Pays,
Yeah.
1982 to 93.
82 to 93. Cheers.
We both had it as our number 1, and they have it at their number 1.
Cheers.
The TV show Cheers.
Yeah, that one should never be remade.
And the thing is I would like to see them do a reunion one.
I'd like to see them do a reunion show, like a callback show, but
I mean, I can see them doing just like a one series,
they could
one season where they bring in, like I said, bring in Woody Harrelson's character. He rebuys Cheers, reopens it up, and then you bring in each character or a couple characters in for each show.
They could have done that. They could have easily done that. Worked it in with Frasier.
Yep, because they brought people back in Frasier. Not everybody, but they brought some people in.
Yeah, but I don't think they brought. I think, and especially now that they're doing the second run through of Frasier, they could really hardcore put in a lot of those people from Frasier.
Yep. Yeah. So, but that's our list today. Tim, final thoughts.
Well, first of all, our thoughts. I'm going to bring this right down to a sad note. Was this Monday to Saturday, Sunday, where he heard of the passing of a Hall of Fame left guard for the Dallas Cowboys. Dies unexpectedly at 54? 52. 52 in Mexico on vacation with his family. And I liked Larry Allen. I think Larry Allen was the epitome of being a left guard in the NFL at this time, anytime in the league. Our thoughts and our prayers go to his family, his friends, his teammates, his former teammates, and anybody who's been touched by Larry Allen. After saying that, I like doing these things. These things they're interesting, they're fun. Sometimes it taxes the brain to get it right, and sometimes it's fun because it becomes strategic sometimes to see where I can snipe and where I can't.
Yeah. No, so thoughts and prayers to that was crushing news. I think I was the first one to tweet that when I was at work. That was, but
I got it from fan base. I got it from Bacon.
Okay, maybe it was Bacon. Maybe.
Yeah,
I think I saw it at the same time, and I saw Bacon posted it. But anyways, thoughts prayers to the Cowboys families and friends and all that. Larry Allen was a beast to be reckoned with on that O-line. I mean, he was a stud. So, but tonight, hopefully we have Sportsman. I know there's a lot of sports news to talk about. Thursday, hopefully we bring in Kicking It. I know Adam's been dealing with some things, so hopefully get that running. Entertainment Hour. We also have on deck Between the Ropes, and of course us again here on C2C Rankem. And hey, I'm going to throw out that movie idea. We'll have to think about it. But with that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.